the different entrepreneurs and their mindset and what they come up with. So our guest today is Lou Scarborough, and Lou is the founder and CEO of MyMedsCom. How are you, Lou? And thanks for stopping by, man.
Great, Neil. It's nice to be with you today. Nice day in Western Pennsylvania. We don't get those very often. So, yeah, it's great to be with you.
Lou, it's interesting. You talked about both of us being Duquesne grads. I got my master's in education in Duquesne. And again, you were in pharmacy school at Duquesne. I think that you learned as a pharmacist what your mission in this company is. That they definitely it's a challenging business. Meaning, as a pharmacist, to see what people go through in the process of getting the meds and the challenges, right?
Sure,
You, you,
sure.
you that's kind of you saw that there was a problem to be solved in your career
That's
as a pharmacist.
two issues that I saw, Neil. One, I saw the demise of small town independent pharmacy. I, at one point in my career, actually was involved with the health insurance business. So I kind of had the unique perspective of being on every side of the provision of healthcare with the insured, the insurer, and the provider side. So I had a little feel for everything. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I kind of had a feel for where retail pharmacy was going in terms of insurance companies. And I had my own store at the time. About 2019, it was becoming inevitable that we will be antiquated and put out of business by pharmacy PBMs, pharmacy benefit managers. So at the time, Viagra had just kind of come out as a generic drug. And I thought, why don't I see if I can maybe sell some generic Viagra through my pharmacy? So I engaged a younger gentleman who you have to engage a younger person if you're going to be anywhere near telehealth. Engaged a younger gentleman and said, can you help me build a site that we can sell generic Viagra? And he said, sure, I can do that for you. And he says, where are we going to, do you want to do this in Pennsylvania? I said, yeah, out of my store. So we started working on building a platform. And it occurred to me that there's just 2 miles from where I live here in Indiana, PA, there's one of the largest independent family-owned pharmacies in the country. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, are you guys interested in being partners with Ryan and I? And at the time, they were licensed in 43 states for
Wow.
distribution.
Hmm.
So the gentleman, Mark, said, sure, I'd like to take a run at this. And remember, 2019, just 5 years ago, telehealth was something that people weren't, I mean, this was pre-COVID, so people weren't very aware of
Mhm.
telehealth and the way everything would end up going to be accelerated then by COVID. So all of a sudden, we have this three-man partnership of a coder and a pharmacy. And that was great. So, but what do you need to get a prescription? You need to have a doctor's
A
prescription,
doctor.
right? So I met in Harmerville, Pennsylvania, by chance at Bob Evans. My brother-in-law turned me on to a physician. He says, you should talk with Rich. He might be able to help you. And Rich Manza at the time was an emergency room doc. So I met with Rich, and within 15 minutes, he says, go home and tell your other three partners you now have a doctor on your team. And oh, by the way, I'm licensed in 36 states. So I went from in 4 months wanting to do just a simple offering here in Pennsylvania to thinking, hell, I might as well blow this thing out and try and go nationwide. So fast forward, we got to COVID and I found a few more coders. We started building our sites because erectile dysfunction was the easiest entree into
Mhm.
telehealth because of the ease of getting a prescription
Right.
via
Exactly.
algorithm.
Yeah.
And everybody, I mean, you don't have to explain what it's for. It's not that deep medically. And so that it was a very easy entry into telehealth. So we started this platform, and along comes COVID, knocked us off our rocker for 8 to 12 months, just like everybody else. Fast forward to 2022, we finally get a site built. By this time, our pharmacy provider is now licensed in every state, and our physician is now licensed in 46 states. So, boom, in just 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
with not doing much, just these guys doing what they do, we have this platform that is available now nationwide to provide telehealth for certain types of medications that are easily, I don't want to say easily, but the ease to prescribe them via algorithm is it does not provide a barrier anymore into providing care, as many insurance companies have gone to remote telehealth prescribing, and that's kind of become the basis of our model. So our name, MyMedsCom, is now, we've evolved to the point where we have our own products that we purvey. We have myedmeds.com. We're about to launch a new site in the next week called Salon Meds, which is going to help. We're going to try and market through the 280,000 stylists in this country, under the premise that one of the most intimate conversations in our economy is after the person you sleep with is the person you trust to cut your hair. And it's probably one of the few providers of a product or service that you actually see now on a monthly basis in person. Everything else is impersonal and done technologically. This is, you're there. And what we're finding is the women spend a lot more time there than we do, obviously, and they talk about everything. So we're going to try and see if we can capitalize on that as a marketing channel for us. But our bigger vision is, because our core name is mymedscom.com, we're looking for consumer brands that already have customers. That, let's assume they have 30,000 customers and they're selling stuff. I don't know how old you are. I'm going to be 63, but when I was a kid, wasn't called a pharmacy. It was called a drugstore, right?
Right.
You could buy everything. When my dad had started his pharmacy in 1952, when I was born in 61, you could buy, I mean, you could do your Christmas shopping at his drugstore because it had cologne, soap, everything, little jewelry and whatnot. So there are a lot of companies, consumer goods companies, that over the last 3 to 5 years have built followings, and they have credibility with a client base. So they sell them all these things that you get in the front of the store. What we now think we can offer them is the back end of the store, under the premise that if you have 30,000 clients that are buying soap from you, they trust you, obviously, if they're continuing clients. Why not buy, in one case, erectile dysfunction tablets from us and through our process? Or on the other side of it, we're adding, in the next 3 months, we're going to have a prescription hair loss treatment. We have prescription eye drops that activate the tiny little muscles in your eyelids that will pull your eyelids up and make it appear as though you've had an eye lift without the cost, time consumption, surgery. So there's a lot of products out there that we feel that we can give all of these brands that already have loyal customers a new product, and it doesn't cost them much to get in. We'll provide everything. We're like I liken us to NASCAR, where we're going to provide you the chassis and the engine. You decide what kind of car goes on the outside and what decals you put on it, and all the bells and whistles. And we can put you in business in probably about 60 to 90 days. If one of the interesting companies out there that we've tried to reach out to is a company called Ball Wash, right? And they sell soap and liquid, old-fashioned soap, but it's like their name says, it's for male to scrub their male parts. Well, if you got guys that are buying that, it is our opinion, Neil, these guys aren't scrubbing up to go cut.
So it's almost, you're going a different affiliate route in certain aspects to get more and more people to it, compared to competing against your competitors, which I won't mention their names. And you deal with them where they have a lot more marketing dollars. They have a lot more brand recognition, that you're coming out and you got to work the digital world. You need to keep getting more customers. You're going to find some, but to find more and be competitive in the marketplace, why don't you partner with these organizations that are trying to gain other revenue, especially during the recession? I'm saying recession, tough financial times for some businesses. Now you have something that you are exactly the marketplace for us, and we'll teach you how to make money on our products. I get it completely. It makes complete sense.
Man, I didn't realize I could explain it that well, that quickly, but you totally wrapped your hands around.
No, I understand. And that's the thing of anything. Like, for example, one of the companies I'm working with, Know When, which is a saliva-based ovulation test kit that is basically 5 days of ovulation that's been around forever. Now they're looking at more to go to OBGYNs,
Sure.
focus with embryologists versus being as much retail, because
Mhm.
that's an opportunity, because they differentiate the market by working with them. So it's really getting to the consumer. The days of marketing and throwing it out to everyone, or thinking you're targeting one group through ads, it doesn't work anymore. You have to really find the people who are your ideal customers and where they're at. And what
There's
you're
no
doing
question.
is you're targeting those different people, changing the whole marketplace, which is online, and providing an online pharmacy for as many people as they want. I
Sure.
understand. So the best place people could find information. So it's your B2B and B2C now. So where can they go?
So if you want to find out about us, as I said, our operating sites today are myedmeds.com and soon to be salonmeds.com, where we are going to purvey the eyelid extension drug. It's the generic name for Latisse, and the brand name for the drug to raise your eyelids is Upneeq. And we're also introducing there's right now, the big thing is weight loss drugs, right?
Right.
So our pharmacy partner has an agreement, and we're going to be providing those compounded versions as long as the FDA will. It's a little bit more complicated than ED meds, obviously, because we're talking
Yeah.
about injections and whatnot. So from a medical standpoint, it's a totally different ball game, but we are equipped to handle that. And if somebody, because of what we're building, let's assume you have Neil Haley's consumer goods products, but you don't have access to prescriptions, and you have 100,000 people that trust you. We can give you a new product line, but you just have to add a new tab onto your existing web page.
It's so common sense. It's
It
building.
appears to be. And
And it's an affiliate program that's a high ticket affiliate program
sure,
versus these other ones where it's a nickel and dime situation, because the more orders, the more things. It's just about working through it and really looking at, instead of the days where stores would sell a specific product, now it's online stores, and create your own online store to add another line item to your uh, website. So
sure,
it's fantastic stuff.
sure,
People
sure.
definitely need to check it out, Lou. And I'm interested. And honestly, there is a big marketplace just for what you guys are doing alone right now. It's just about finding the people, because so many people are frustrated waiting for their doctors to prescribe their meds for them.
Sure,
And
and there are many in the case of erectile dysfunction. I use that because that's where I started. So that's my bones in this business, so to speak. But it's interesting that everybody said it's an old guy's drug. The data will show you that it's not an old man's drug. 20% of guys in their 20s
the
experience
30s. Yeah.
erectile,
Yep.
30% in your 30s, 40% in your
Yeah.
40s, and so on up the line. And what's even more interesting is that the reason for a lot of that is, and this is anecdotal, but a lot of these young guys, the first time they go into a situation like this, they haven't even met the person. Okay, all they did was swipe on their phone, and they haven't had any interaction, so they're nervous as hell about the whole thing. And
Exactly.
they start, hey, if only I had a Viagra, that would cure
Oh,
everything,
goodness
right?
gracious. So
So
go figure.
and it's interesting how the drug that we provide in that one from that particular site, the pun and innuendo just never ever ends. Um, it's just the way it is. But we've our tagline on our corporate emails, internal emails, is "Together we rise."
All
Um,
right. I like
so as I said, we have the ED site, but our site can prevent any drug or any condition that can be diagnosed via algorithm and then treated um, in a pharmacy. We can provide that because once you go to our site, you don't have to leave it and go to another site. You don't have to go to your doctor. You can do
100%.
everything that we do
Uh,
right there from your office.
and you're going to find out so many people will want that. All right. Well, appreciate it,
Yeah,
Lou. Thanks for stopping by, man.
you got it, man. Have a great
All right.
day.
You too.
Go
You're
Dukes.
listening and watching. Yes, go Dukes. You're listening and watching.